CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, we have new details on a crash that injured a Miami Gardens officer. Police now say the driver responsible is in jail. CBS News Miami's Jacqueline Quinn has the details.
The driver that was involved in this massive crash hitting a police officer, we've learned, is now facing a DUI charge.
The passengers of the secondary vehicle are in critical condition.
Miami Gardens police say the driver behind this car crashed into a police cruiser that was coming to a stop just before the Palmetto Expressway and Northwest 27th Avenue. The impact knocked car debris all over the roadway and pushed this police cruiser all the way up this embankment.
The secondary vehicle was traveling westbound when he ran the red light and struck the officer.
Miami-Dade Fire Rescue got the call at 2:42 a.m. and quickly responded. They transported 3 patients to Jackson Memorial Hospital, including the officer.
Our officer now was airlifted to Rider Trauma, and 2 passengers as well from the secondary vehicle.
We can confirm that the driver will be charged with driving under the influence.
No, he was not transported. He remained on scene.
The investigation is still underway. Police mentioned speed could be another factor. In the meantime, they have a warning.
So we ask the community to please just be visible when they're driving, pay attention as they're driving to all of the traffic signals so that something like this wouldn't happen again.
Now, there is a bit of debris that's still left behind out here, and the latest on the officer from Miami Gardens is that he's doing okay. They have not released any of the identities of the people involved, but they did tell us the officer is a 4-year veteran. And the last update we have of the 2 passengers, we initially said that there were 2 that were in critical condition. One of them has been upgraded, so still 1 remains in critical condition. For now in Miami Gardens, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, CBS News, Miami.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
Taking a live look at downtown Miami. It is a beautiful day across South Florida, but get ready because we are tracking some big changes. Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler. We were talking about it earlier. It sounds like we might need to grab the jackets tomorrow.
I think so, yeah, and then especially tomorrow night going into Thursday morning. Much cooler air is coming. You noticed it is so beautiful today. If you haven't been outside much today, you've got to because the humidity is low. Look at this temperature now, 81 degrees. High so far today has been 84 with a westerly wind, but it's those dew points, it's the humidity. That's what makes all the difference in the world. This is what's coming up next now. Coolest air of the season so far. That will be dropping in tomorrow and going into Thursday morning. It'll be breezy but dry overall for the next few days. Finally, by this weekend, I think by Sunday, we're going to see a pretty good chance for some rain across South Florida, maybe even a few thunderstorms with a strong frontal system. We'll be tracking that and watching that for you. And because the winds are going to be picking up out of the northeast, look at this. We now have a small craft advisory in effect from 3 a.m. Wednesday morning until 7 p.m. right along the Atlantic. So winds could gust as high as 35 miles per hour and those seas 6 to 9 feet. So boaters, beware of that. Temperature right now in Homestead is 82. We've got 80 degrees in Fort Lauderdale, partly cloudy skies down in the Keys, very nice in the upper 70s at this point. And it's the change in the wind direction with that drier air now coming in. Aloft, we have the winds coming out of the west. Frontal system came through today, is stalled now off to the south, but it's this second cold front that we're waiting on. That's the one that's going to bring the big change in the temperatures. The dry air stays put, but that'll bring our temperature down to 57 degrees by Thursday morning. Hasn't been that chilly since Valentine's Day, so quite a while. So it's all that cool air that wants to drop in place here. Less humidity until we get into the weekend. High pressure will scoot off to the east. That will change our winds again with another front coming in, so we will see a good chance for showers and maybe thunderstorms. So here's your forecast for the next 7 days. High tomorrow, much cooler, 74 degrees, breezy too, then 57 on Thursday morning, reaching 77 during the day. 78 on Friday. Temperatures up this weekend, but more humidity and a chance for rain.
Cindy, thank you. A major breakthrough in a 25-year-old cold case from Broward County. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has the very latest.
911, police, fire, medical rescue.
Yeah, I found a dead body out here off of 27.
It was a mystery for 25 years. An unidentified woman brutally raped and murdered, left for dead off US 27 in southwest Broward.
Probably the most tragic thing about this case is that we don't know who she is.
But through advances in DNA technology, Broward Sheriff detectives have identified the woman as Eileen Trupner.
It really is just very fortunate that we were able to take advantage of the science that we have now. FDLE assisted us with doing the genealogy and that component, which is new emerging technology that's going to give us a lot more results on these type of cases.
Not only did the new technology identify the victim, but Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney said they have been able to identify her killer, Lucius Boyd, a convicted murderer, rapist, and suspected serial killer who is now on death row. It's unclear how Boyd crossed paths with Eileen Trupner.
She was a good person, and not only that, she was a professional. She worked in Puerto Rico.
Trupner's surviving sister said Eileen suffered from postpartum depression, lost custody of her children. Her disappearance shattered her family.
She no deserved to die the way she died, brutalized, killed, sexualized, and she no deserved it. And even though they have the person in jail, that person gonna get justice, and that's why we want justice for Eileen.
And this is now case 21 of which we've been able to solve, whether it been a homicide or a rapist who was out in our community creating harm, and we're delighted that we can expand that number to 21.
And that was CBS News Miami's Joan Murray reporting. Rising anti-Semitism on college campuses took center stage on Capitol Hill today. Several university presidents testified before the House about how they've responded to tensions that have erupted on their campuses. It's after the October 7th terror attacks ignited a war between Hamas and Israel. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry joins us live from Capitol Hill. Skylar.
Hey, Naja, good to be with you. Well, these university presidents are pushing back on lawmakers, saying that there is a fine line between protecting free speech and allowing protests while also looking to combat anti-Semitism.
I know that I have not always gotten it right.
Harvard University President Dr. Claudine Gay faced heated questions about the line between free speech and keeping students safe.
Will admissions offers be rescinded or any disciplinary action be taken against students or applicants who say, from the river to the sea or Intifada, advocating for the murder of Jews?
That type of hateful, reckless, offensive speech is personally abhorrent to me.
What action will be taken?
When speech crosses into conduct.
The presidents of the University of Pennsylvania and MIT also testified about anti-Semitism on their campuses. The hearing comes as tensions boil over on college campuses nationwide in response to the Israel-Hamas war. Last month, for example, Penn said several staff members in campus buildings were the targets of anti-Semitic messages.
We are combating this hate on our campus with both immediate and comprehensive action.
Penn and Harvard are among a growing list of schools that include fellow Ivies, Columbia, and Cornell that are being investigated by the U.S. Department of Education over incidents of alleged discrimination.
The ranking Democrat on the committee called out Republicans for trying to cut funding from the Education Department.
You can't call for action, then hamstring the agency charged with taking that action to protect students' civil rights.
While the hearing was about anti-Semitism, the school administrators said they are also working to combat rising Islamophobia on college campuses.
Now, we should also point out that after these incidents, there have been increases in security inside student residence in response to all of this. And at Harvard specifically, they are launching educational programs to try to address both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. We're on Capitol Hill. I'm Skylar Henry. Naja, back to you.
Skylar, thank you for that report. The mother of the Monarch athlete who is transgender identified herself in a statement Monday. Jessica Norton is one of the 5 Monarch High School employees whose jobs are on the line. It was for letting her transgender daughter play on the female volleyball team. Norton, who is the mother of the student, criticized officials Monday. She says they outed her daughter. In a statement, Norton said, quote, "The outpouring of love and support from our community this past week has been inspiring, selfless, and brave. Watching our community's resistance and display of love has been so joyous for our family, the light leading us through this darkness. I want everyone to know that we see you and we are so grateful for you." More news when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Now to the Israel-Hamas war. An Israeli commander is calling today the heaviest day for fighting for his troops. That's since the ground operations in Gaza began. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
The Israeli military is moving deeper into southern Gaza Tuesday, striking targets in and around the city of Khan Yunis, considered a Hamas stronghold.
Every zone has a color, which is based on intelligence.
Israeli defense forces say they are trying to mitigate harm to civilians.
And try and make movements and ask for people to move in order to minimize harm to these civilians.
But many Palestinians say they have no place to go, no supplies, and constantly fear bombardment. "We are living between life and death," this mother cries. "We may die at any moment." The U.S. plans to help create a field hospital inside the Gaza Strip for wounded civilians. The White House says it remains focused on surging humanitarian assistance while also supporting Israel and bringing the remaining hostages home.
Every minute that goes by, their chances to keep on being alive are decreasing.
Some of the families of hostages held by Hamas returned to Capitol Hill Tuesday. They say their hearts break every day.
Just this past week, we got horrible news as it dribbled in that 4 different people were dead that we hoped were still alive in Gaza.
Families are pleading that the Red Cross be allowed to visit some 130 hostages still believed to be in captivity. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Miami Art Week is officially underway, and each year there are thousands of artists who dream about the opportunity to have their artwork seen and appreciated during this week. The Miami Art Week kickoff party took place last night at the O Cinema in South Beach. Miami Art Week is one of the largest attended art events worldwide. The mission of Miami Art Week is to promote and support emerging and established artists, galleries, and art organizations, both locally and internationally. This year, Miami Art Week also unveiled its new digital magazine, and I had the pleasure to be the event MC. And our coverage of Art Week is just getting started. Today and tomorrow, our Lisa Petrillo takes us inside VIP events. Art Miami gets underway today, and Art Basel's exclusive preview on Wednesday. Thursday, Lisa takes you to an event known as Art of the Black and Soul Basel. See what's on display inside the historic Hampton House. And on Friday, a look at art across South Florida that you and your family can explore. Such an exciting week to be in Miami. That's your Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.